We are welcoming in News Nation's Blake Burman on this, chief Washington correspondent. Blake, thanks so much for jumping on the phone in such short notice. How striking is this move? What is the reaction that you're already monitoring in D.C.?
So here's the scenario, Natasha, and here's the issue for Joe Biden and the White House. The president earlier this year, when he was running for re-election earlier this summer in June, after the first set of charges came down against Hunter Biden, was asked if he would pardon his son. And Joe Biden said in June, on multiple occasions, not once, but on multiple occasions, he said he would not pardon his son, that he would respect the decision by a jury, and that he had ruled out a pardon. He was asked that in early June and then followed up with it a week later. The issue, Natasha, is there wasn't then, and there wasn't at any point after that, I would bet you, a single parent, any parent in this country who has children, not a single parent would have believed that at the time, that if you had a chance to help out one of your own children, that you would do it. Fast forward to tonight, Joe Biden, the president, with now, 40-something days left of his presidency, has, you could say, reversed course. You could say has lied, and now made a completely different decision, which is Hunter Biden has received a full and unconditional pardon, I believe, for a span of whatever crimes were committed over the course of a decade or so. And so for the White House going forward, starting, tomorrow and into this week, whenever the next press briefing is, they will, I guarantee you, face a barrage of questions about why did the president say he wouldn't pardon his son, and now why did the president do the complete opposite thing? And for Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, who was run out to the podium time and time and time again and had to vouch time and time and time again that the president wouldn't be pardoning his son, there's going to be, again, a barrage of questions for her as to why she answered what she did and what changed, if anything.
Yeah, Blake, you bring up a couple of really interesting points here. First of all, it does appear that this pardon covers multiple items and essentially means that Hunter Biden will not be spending any time in jail. And your second point, questions on this have almost been treated with a level of annoyance recently. Just this last week, White House spokesperson Andrew Bates saying the president has spoken on this. I don't have anything to add. What he has already said. And then,
Andrew Bates is a White House staffer, right? He's a part of the communications team, and that's the thing for the team, right? For Karine Jean-Pierre and Andrew Bates, if the president, whatever the president says, you speak for the president. You don't have your own thoughts or feelings and say them out to the public. You speak for the president of the United States, and the president of the United States told you this wasn't going to happen. And again, I go to the very first thing I said. I don't think there was ever a single parent in this country who believed that if you had children and for the crimes that were committed, that Hunter Biden was convicted for, and the time that he was facing, I don't think there was a single parent in this country who ever believed that Joe Biden would pardon his son. And the timing here, obviously, he's no longer running for president. The election happened, and what happened last week? The prosecutions against Donald Trump wound down, right? That's tonight's Sunday night. We learned from Jack Smith, on Monday or Tuesday to start off the holiday week, whenever it was, a handful of days ago, that those cases were to be, were winding down and are done with and not happening at the federal level. And so, Joe Biden sees that's sort of done with for Donald Trump. The country moves forward, and then the announcement tonight from President Biden. And I think that's part of the timing that played into it.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.